So good afternoon, everyone. I'm here again. It's Pusodi Mapo. After a bit of time being away, my intention was to keep this going as much as possible, but unfortunately, due to some commitments, it didn't go that way. But I know I've long promised to talk about this, so today is the day that I've chosen to talk about uh, tip. A tip in the service world, right? I think it's a bit hot out here, so I think we all know what a tip is, right? We all know a tip as, just to briefly explain it. We know a tip as a appreciation of service. If you appreciate someone's service, if they've done a very good job, or if they've done an impressive job for you in the service, the service delivery industry, you just give them a tip. It could be a petrol attendant, it could be a waiter, it could be someone who helped you at your house, or someone, the security guard that always opens the gate for you all the time when you get to work or when you get to your house. Then you appreciate them by giving them that tip. You understand that? Just appreciation of service. Normally it's on monetary terms, but it can be either a gadget, it can be something tangible, you understand, or something that they can use after some days, more and more again. So now, but because we are basically on the bedding or on the guiding world, we'll talk about guiding and tipping, right? So, but before we get there, let's just try and understand what a tip is and where does it comes from. Okay, tip stands for to ensure promptness. You understand? To ensure prompt, which means to ensure that you are service promptly. You understand? That's where the term tip comes from. So now, back in the days, what you used to do is, for example, if you get to a restaurant, you used to pay the waiter first before the service. Maybe you give them $20 so that they can assist you with promptness and with quality service. But then later, as time goes on, it changed, and I think it was for obvious reasons that imagine if it's six of us on the table in a restaurant, and someone tipped the waiter $5, someone tipped them $20, someone tipped them $50. Definitely, they will put much attention to someone who have paid them much money. It's common sense. So now it changed to come after the service. So you do the service without knowing how much you'll be tipped for. All right. So that's where the word tip comes from. Just a brief background about it. It's a common thing in the guiding world. Okay. It's very, very common in the guiding world that a guide should have a tip, or a guide should be given a tip after each and every drive that they do, or after each and every service delivery they deliver to our guests. In some other camps, they will even set a standard to say you have to tip our guests from $20 and up, and a tip is compulsory. That's what I've seen in other camps as I was exploring my guiding career. But then, tip have got good and the bad, and it seems like what is happening right now with the situation of the guiding industry is doing much good and much bad as well, because now the guys, they do guide with the tipping mandate on their minds. They will guide looking at their guests, looking who could possibly tip with a higher amount. If you could cross a potentially dangerous waterway to go to a site, maybe they've heard that wild dogs or a lion on a kill have been found on the other side of the stream, and they want to take a risk of crossing it so that they can give a tip. You understand? It's good to show your guests fruitful sighting. It's good to show your guests one of the memorable sighting. But as a guide, like I said in my previous videos, you have to find each and every moment exciting for your guests, so that it doesn't have only about to be about the big game. The big game is good, and sometimes showing them the big game can come with a lot of tip, and showing them the little things and show them how much and how confident you are about what you know can also come with a large amount of tip. When I got into this industry, I was told to do my best. I was told, like, do your best, and if you deserve a tip, you'll be given a tip. If you don't deserve a tip, then you won't be given a tip. And your service shouldn't be weighed by the tip. Just go out there and give yourself all. Don't even keep that tip in mind, because you are going to try and you do something silly, try to pursue tip, then you get stuck. You understand? For 3 days, then the people who are supposed to give you tip, now they get angry and decide not to give you anything. You're going to try something stupid, then someone get injured in the pursuit of tip. Maybe someone will be saying, I want to get a very good photo with the lions and the backgrounds, then the lion charges, then someone injure themselves, while trying to get in the car very fast. They might even break their leg. Imagine. So as a guide, you need to be disciplined around the tip. It's good to have a tip. It's good to have $100 after a game drive. It is good. But then have that and weigh it as the appreciation of good service, the appreciation of the effort that you made to make their game drive a memorable trip. Okay? Do not do something in pursuit of a tip. There was a time where I witnessed this guide where we're on a depression, kind of, just after Mababe, the Mababe depression. I think we all know it. So Mababe depression, a lot of animals will go there when new grass shoots. You get hundreds and hundreds of heads of buffaloes, of zebras, and other antelopes, of course. Then someone called on the radio to say, out of Mababe gate, as you just enter Kwai, there is a pack of wild dogs there, and they seems to be hunting some impalas. Then that guy immediately said, Pusho, I'm going. But I said, it's far. It's too far. I told him it's too far. He said, man, I need this. My guests have been so willing to have such an experience. He took off with the jeep. I think he was driving 50, 60 kilometers per an hour. In our roads, that speed is a lot, and you might easily get stuck. After 30 minutes or so, he called on the radio. Guys, I've been stuck. So what happened is that part of the diff of the cruiser, cracked, and it made some noise to an extent that the diff, the car couldn't move anymore. Then when I got to him, it was definitely because of the corrugation and the situation of the road. I didn't want to tell him that I told you not to go for the sighting, because it will make him feel bad, or it will make him feel like I've trapped him or something. But I just said that wasn't a good idea. We could have just stayed and kept quiet, without saying anything about the wild dogs. You could have saved your guests' time. You could have saved the car, the mechanical expenses that the company, not you for that matter, the company that is going to go through, because you thought after they see the guests, they are going to give you much tip. So now, I just want to encourage my fellow guides that it's good to have a tip. I know the feeling. I know the feeling of giving a lot of money as tip. I know the feeling of giving less money while I was expecting big, or when I didn't expect anything at all, I was given much. You understand? So then comes this issue of nationals. That there are certain nationals that give more tip than others. Well, that might be true. Yes, like for example, the Americans, it's normal for the Americans to give tip. But it's not like, tip is a personal opinion, you understand? And it's a personal decision. But everyone, I've been with Americans that give me anything. And I've been the Dutch that gave me a lot of money. I've been South Africans that gave me a lot of money. So tip, I think tip mostly is weighed about the effort. that eagerness, that feeling that you give them that you know what you are doing, then they'll give you tip to appreciate what you have done to them, because you have shown them passion, that I'm passionate about what I'm doing, and whatever I don't see what I'm expecting, I know how to make this day interesting. I think that's how you get a better chance of getting a match tip. But tip shouldn't be your mandate. Your mandate should be excellent service delivery. You understand? Then you get to this situation. Tip does not give you on money only, but or it's not only on monetary terms. Someone can give you a camera, someone can be a pair of binoculars, someone can give you socks, someone can give you anything. Because some of these guests from there, those things they don't need them. They've bought them for safari for that particular trip. After that, they don't need them, and normally that's what they give as tip. Then we've got this type of guide who will be soliciting those kind of things from the client. Like I mentioned on my previous video, as a guide, make sure that you have a pair of binoculars. It's for your own good, and it shows how professional you are. Make sure you have the guys, the relevant guys that you refer into on a game drive. Make sure you have that as a guide. Make sure, if you can, have a camera. You need to have all these things that you need, because you are working in this environment. You know what you need. You need to have a leatherman. You need to have proper shoes. You need to have proper clothing, because at some point you'll want to do some walks around. Okay. Then we have these guys that will solicit those kind of gadgets from their clients, not directly but indirectly. They'll be saying like, I wish, while you are struggling to identify something very far away from you, then you'll be like, I wish I had a very good pair of binoculars. I wish I had a camera. I could be taking a picture and going back to camp to refer to the guide and see and quickly identify this particular flower. Man, you can't. You can't do that as a guide. You don't want to be a charity case. You are a guide. You are there to guide these people. You can't be soliciting some gadgets with the fact that you are